Hello guys, Frank here from Pro Tennis Trader. I hope you're well. So in this video, I'm going to start off by just going through July's results. I know I'm a bit late in posting these. Obviously we're heading towards the end of August now. But the main purpose of this video is to talk about no trades, and you'll see why in just a moment. But let's first start off with the July's monthly performance. So this is from my Platinum Traders group. Now this is reserved for members who have taken my course already, because of course you do need to have prior knowledge of the strategies in order to benefit from it. Now when you sign up to the complete guide to trading tennis matches, you do get a month free of Platinum Traders, and the idea is that it just kind of gives you the edge, it gives you additional strategies, variations on the strategies, ways to minimize your losses, and of course to increase your profits. So in July, we ended up with a total profit of 25.1 points. Total match traded was 25. There were 18 no trades, and this does look like a high number, and that's why I'm going to discuss that in this video. Profitable trades, 17. Losing trades, 8. So it's a nice ratio there between winning and losing trades. Biggest loss, minus 1.8 points profit. Biggest win, 3.7. So you'll see straight away that the losses are relatively small. That's to do with my risk-averse strategy, mitigating the losses, but obviously capitalising on the profits when the opportunities arise. So if we just go through just a brief overview of the profit and loss from individual trades. See, we had a minus, actually, I'm going to change that. Sorry, there was a -2. That is rare. Normally about 1.7, 1.8 is the highest, but yeah, there was a -2 there. 0.75, 0.5, 1.4, -1, -0.7. So there are not many high losses. Biggest win, 3.7. Obviously these are our bread and butter. You only need 2 or 3 of these a month to really boost your profits. But essentially the important point is the average profit per trade. 1 point. This is about average for Platinum Traders. Earlier in the year, if you've seen the videos, we did have a bit higher than this. Occasionally we drop below this, but if you get a 1 point profit per match, that's absolutely spot on to get this kind of profitability. Now before we move on to the no trades, the other important thing to note is how steady that upwards trajectory is. Now, as I said, my trading strategy is very risk averse. We don't have big losses and then big wins, and it's always up and down, and if you have 2 or 3 big losses in a row, it's going to affect you psychologically. So it's slow and steady, building up the profit, and that's when you do get this kind of steady upwards trajectory. So the no trades is a high number. As my members will always hear me say, no trades always better than losing trades, and this is all down to the first set analysis. Now, as well as my strategy, which has been proven to work for numerous years now, I think it's almost coming up to 15 years. Strategies have improved. They become more risk averse, reducing these losses over time. But a key element of that is not jumping into trades when you don't have confidence in the player that you're backing. So it all comes down to first set analysis. So obviously it's performed to determine whether a genuine trading opportunity exists. So essentially, if the statistics, match patterns, and live evidence do not stack up, there is a clear no trade signal. Now, an important note is that choosing not to trade is not a missed opportunity. It's a disciplined decision that, of course, protects your trading bank. Now, using the first set analysis that I've used for quite a few years, again, this has changed, it's adapted, it's evolved. But essentially around 90% of the matches rejected by the first set analysis would have resulted in losing trades. Now just imagine if these 18 no trades I had traded and 90% of them were losing trades. would be in a losing position. So that absolutely demonstrates that point. Of course, the same principle applies to any type of trading, forex, stocks, shares, any other financial market. A disciplined trader does not enter simply because the market's available. They wait for a strong setup that meets their criteria. The setup isn't there. It's very simply a no trade. You wouldn't trade it. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes made by new traders. They've done the research, they've selected the match, and the desire for action takes over, and they sort of ignore all the negatives and the alarm bells, start searching for reasons to enter rather than objectively assessing the evidence. Now, my first set analysis is very objective, and if the first set statistics do not support the strategy, entering the market is simply gambling. This is not disciplined trading, and this is the difference between a trader who dips in and out, newbie traders, and professional traders that are actually successful and profitable. So you've got to understand that patience is part of the process. You don't need to trade every match. Let's say you see the large number of no trades just in July as an example. You've got to wait for the matches that provide a genuine statistical edge. Now, this is, as you said, as I just said earlier, if 90% of those 18 trades were losing trades, I would have lost money over July. So that's why it's so important to really focus on that first set analysis. Now, I will be putting together another new first set analysis video, which I'll publish soon. But essentially, these are all the sort of things that you're looking out for. And it does look a lot. I mean, there are 18 points there. However, when you become used to just scanning over them, it becomes second nature. You can literally do this in 30 seconds, if not less. I always recommend watching the first set. So obviously you can see, the player's body language, see what's going on with it, the general demeanour, any injury concerns. But essentially there are this many things to take a look at, and this makes the difference between a profitable trader, professional trader, and I said again, a newbie, someone who just wants to dip in and out thinking they can get a quick win. I mean, I know in the past I haven't really looked for many videos recently, but you get some YouTuber who thinks, I'll start tennis trading. They've got this strategy off some dodgy website. They don't take into account any of these, and then just start backing and laying and doing God knows what else. And surprise, surprise, they lose money. Now, obviously a lot of people on YouTube over the years have commented on my videos, they want live trading, they want strategies, they want to see my strategy in play. Essentially, even if you did see the full strategies in play and I explain them in and out, it's going to be no use to you unless, of course, you're putting the work in to do your pre-match analysis and your first set analysis. So just to go through a couple of these first ones, you want to be looking at how the set was lost. So you're going to begin with a story behind the score. How many breaks were there? Was there only one break? Were there two or three? Were there two or three on the opponent's serve as well? Did the set go to a tie break? Did the player lose serve through just one poor game and the rest of it was absolutely fine? Were there several competitive return games? Did the player serve for the set or hold a lead? Maybe they held a lead and then got broken late on. That's obviously going to be a major alarm bell and is going to affect the psychology of the player that you're looking to back. Essentially, it's all to do with the confidence you have in the player you're backing. You want to feel confident in backing that player. Or, was the set decided by a handful of points just at the end? And the rest of the set was pretty decent from that player you're looking to back. Did they got off to a bad start, but improved as the set progressed? Then maybe you can disregard some of the earlier points, maybe nerves. Say we're in a semi-final or final, or you're looking at a low-ranked player in the first or second round of a top tournament. It's all these nuances that get involved with tennis trading, which of course as you become more experienced, you can go on a spot and it makes your analysis much more automated. I've done a few videos on serve percentage. I've given the metrics in a video that I did a while back. I'll put a link to that video down below. It's obviously worth going back to and reminding you of it. If you are following this on YouTube, I mean, obviously, I'd recommend taking my course. If you're trying the monkey see, monkey do approach, then I would urge you, I know these analysis videos aren't glamorous. You know, you want to see a live trading match, you want to see me placing trades, making profit, making losses. You know, that's the interesting part of tennis trading. But it's not very interesting if you're just jumping into it without the background research and putting the work in, and you're actually making profit. It soon becomes quite demoralizing. If you're not doing that, you're jumping into trades that you shouldn't be jumping into, and of course you're losing money. So yeah, the service stats videos are definitely worth looking into. As I say, I'll do more videos on this, more in depth into essentially this checklist, you know, looking for the things that you should be taking on board when the first set has completed. There is a lot to it, but as I said, it looks daunting at the moment if you've never really done this. But for me, I'm watching the first set play out on a live stream, so I've got a good idea of what's going on. I'm happy with how the player's looking. I've had the live stats throughout, so I'm not suddenly, you know, in that short period between the first and second sets, quickly going through all the stats. But in some situations I will do, and literally I just glance over it over a few seconds, and you know, over time you can make that decision very quickly in a few seconds whether you want to trade that player or not. But you've got to have this sort of background, what's the word, you know, you've got to get used to looking for them before, you know, looking for these alarm bells, looking for what stats to look out for. And then it literally becomes automated in your mind, and it does become second nature. You go, yep, green light, let's go ahead with the trade in the second set. And, you know, more often than not, the job's a good one. And again, as you've seen from my the record from July and other previous videos, of course we have losing trades. Every trader has losing trades. But the idea, if you want to become a successful trader, you need to have more winning trades than losing trades. That's the nature of trading. It really is that simple. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful. And of course, if you do want to join my course, you can do at protennistrader.com, which will link you to protennistrader.teachable.com, where you can find my free introduction into tennis trading. Take that, see if it's for you, watch a few more videos, then you can sign up to the full course. Gives you absolutely everything you need to become a profitable tennis trader, and of course gives you a month of platinum traders. But yeah, have a good one, and good luck with your trading. Now, if you found this video useful, then please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like, it helps with views and helps the channel grow. And of course, you'll be notified of when I upload new tennis trading videos. Now, if you haven't started your journey into tennis trading, you can of course do so at protennistrader.teachable.com, where I offer the full package to get you up and running as a professional tennis trader. So you can start off with the free instructions to tennis trading, or for the complete guide, which includes absolutely everything you need to make money trading tennis matches, and that includes a free month of platinum traders. Now have a good one, and good luck with your trading.